I mean, I define philanthropy as someone giving to someone else for a charitable purpose, not for their own self-interest.
We define philanthropy broadly to cover all means, all private means of financing positive social change.
Philos love, anthro of mankind. It is a love of mankind.
I personally define philanthropy as the giving of money or services or pretty much anything in order to achieve some sort of social good, social impact.
The concept of philanthropy is clear. We can all agree on the intent. In other words, the desire behind it isn't anything new.
In fact, the term philanthropy dates back nearly 2,500 years to ancient Greece and Aeschylus's Prometheus Bound, the myth of how Prometheus bestowed upon primitive humanity two essential gifts: fire, symbolizing knowledge, and optimism, or hope. Philanthropia, loving what it is to be human, was thought to be, by many, the key to civilization. And our modern, really American concept of philanthropy came into being in the early 20th century with the likes of Carnegie and Rockefeller, as wealthy industrialists channeled large sums of money into institutions and causes that furthered the greater good.
So we can be clear about the meaning of modern philanthropy and the desire behind it. It's any activity in the private sector that's intended to influence the public good. It's so important, and we're addressing such vital issues, such complicated issues. So is it even possible to know when philanthropy is effective?
There's a great measure in the for-profit side. It's called return on financial investment. I get to eat more, I get to buy more things, I can provide for my family if I've made the right decision there. Do I get that in a philanthropic investment? No.
Philanthropists have the job of trying to tackle those issues that have long proved resistant to great sums and great minds. I mean, so one of the things that we have to recognize is that philanthropy is tackling those issues that neither the private sector nor the government has figured out how to solve.
Given this reality, wouldn't we want to develop the best strategy possible to help us measure the effectiveness of our efforts? My name is Kate Robinson, and I'm very interested in philanthropy today and how we can help make it even more effective. Specifically, I'm interested in how we can measure its effectiveness. And the stakes could not be higher. This really became clear to me when I was running a statewide healthcare advocacy organization, and we weren't fully meeting our objectives. In fact, we weren't even all that clear about what our objectives were. We had good intentions, as did our funders, but we had no clear, measurable strategy, no way of determining progress towards our goals. So what I wanted was performance management, or in other words, a strategy to be able to determine very clearly what our objectives were and track progress towards those objectives.
First, defining what success looks like. Second, finding benchmarks along the way to be able to measure progress. Third, it's being able to adapt according to the new knowledge that one's gained. And then finally, fourth, it's about being able to communicate that progress.
So this film is really an investigation into the strategy of performance management in philanthropy. We'll be talking to heads of foundations, nonprofit directors, and other leaders in the philanthropic community to find out what performance management means to them. And we'll examine specific direct service organizations to see which performance management strategies they employ.
If you're a runner, you want to know how well you did yesterday as compared to today. If you're trying to lose weight, the feedback comes from a scale. And for a nonprofit trying to achieve really difficult goals, reducing teen pregnancy, improving educational outcomes for poor kids, the need for that feedback is even more pressing because it's not as easy as stepping on a scale or seeing how many points you won in a racquetball game.